Necrons, space skeleton boys.
Woo!
We love them.
Yeah.
I
Necrons.
only took a few notes on these guys because it feels to me like there's gonna be some overlapping information once we do, say, the old ones. And
there's going to be a lot of fucking information.
Yeah, so they overlap with the old ones. They overlap with the Catan.
They are integral to the old ones and the Catan.
Yeah, so
the Necron tier are Necrons. So yeah, it's a big boy subject, and there's so much information. But I'm going to try and ramble through it as best as possible.
All right, so I grabbed, like, basically if something seemed like it was more of a if it was more of a old one thing, or if it was more of a Catan thing, I just left it alone. So I just like basically stuck to this is Necron information. This is stuff that we need to know about the Necrons. So
okay,
for basically just a little background on the Necrons. They were originally known as the Necron tier. And they existed in a planet whose sun was so radioactive, they were basically living cancer piles, basically. They were
pretty much
extremely sick.
They got the arse end of the beginning.
Yeah, it sucks to be them.
Well, like, the Eldar were like, oh, we're the best race, we've got all the spells and shit. Necrons basically got shat out.
Yeah, they had a whole lot of crap. And you have to feel
sorry for them.
Yeah.
You have to feel sorry for them.
You kind of do. I mean, their planet was crap, their sun was bad. It's like, you know,
the old ones were dicks to them.
Yes.
The Catan Shads were also dicks to them. Everything was a dick to them.
Basically, it got to a point where, you know, like, as a matter of fact, it's said that their philosophy is basically, hey, don't be afraid of death, because death is a release from this constant torment that we live in. And it's just like, oh my god, you poor things.
I know, and now they're beginning to wake up as metal dudes. And they realise that somebody's taken over their entire universe. So they're like, for fuck's sake, let us sleep, you bastards. Why? Meanwhile, some admech is just poking at their tombs. It's like, no, fuck off. Stop trying to research us. I just want sleep. The Necrons are probably one of my favourite Xenos race.
Yeah. I can see why. I mean, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're great, especially Nemesor, Zahndrekh, and Vargard, Obyron.
Yeah,
they're the best. They're the best Necron boys. They're like buddy cops, and it's amazing. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we need to talk about the beginning. Ooh.
Yes. So here's basically what happens. They advance relatively quickly, I would say, and they start getting off their planet in these really, like, this is it would be generous to call it a star vessel. So it's like they're getting off, kind of, and they're just taking a very slow tour of the universe around them. Eventually, they come across the old ones, and the
old ones were living their best lives.
Yes,
they were like, we're just chilling, and the Necrons were like Oliver Twist in that scene where he's like, please, sir, may we have some gruel, sir? Please, sir.
Yeah,
please,
basically.
Can we have some support? No, child, get back into the radioactive hell where you came from. Oh.
And that's basically
help.
No.
It doesn't help that then a Catan god called the Deceiver came to the Necrons and said, hey, I can help you. And the Silent King and basically went, oh yeah, sure, mate, we trust you, the Deceiver. We trust this guy called the Deceiver.
That would have been the first red flag for me. It's like, I'm sorry, they call you the what now? no. just no. But
let's trust the guy called the Deceiver.
yeah, nothing shifty about him at all. Absolutely not. We can trust him wholeheartedly.
So like the Catan, the Catan basically went, right, we'll make you stronger. We'll overthrow the old ones for you. Don't worry, it's all good, mate. And what happened was that they did overthrow the old ones, and the Catan went, haha, guess what? Fuck you, Necrons, and made giant ovens. And the Silent King, who basically was responsible for brokering this deal, watched as every other Necron and their mum go into these giant ovens and get turned into the Necron robots we see now.
Yeah, basically. So, the whole thing here is, the old ones are like, we are 100% immortal, and we travel the galaxy in these ships made of living metal. Nothing hurts us. We're really cool. And the Necrons is like, please, we're so sick. Could you please help? And the Necrons are like, sorry, bro. The old ones. Yeah, like, sorry, man. Sucks to be you, but good luck with that. And the Necrons took that very personally. They're like, oh, okay, you're not going to help us even though
Fuck you.
Yeah. I guess this means war. We're going to war now because you guys are being dicks.
Yeah, it didn't go well. It didn't go well the first time they went to war. They got absolutely shat on.
Yes.
Because surprisingly attacking stuff when you're like dying of radiation cancer is a really fucking bad idea.
Yeah, really. It's like, these guys, like, honestly, like a wind hits you too hard and you would fall apart, and you're over here taking on these for all intents and purposes, immortal entities. How far did you expect to get with this plan? And it's like,
Cough on them, Steve. Cough on them, Steve.
I know, right?
Maybe, hopefully.
Oh man, I kind of imagine, like their idea of war is the Necrons just kind of like very feebly, like knocking on their doors. They're like trying to like very weakly knock their doors down, and nothing's happening. But
dude.
Yeah.
No, they try and knock on the door and their limbs fall off.
I know, right?
Like,
oh
man. But yeah, then the Catan went, oh yeah, we'll help. And then the Catan started turning the Necron tier into the big metal dudes.
No, and here's the question.
What? Mind wiping.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But
depending what rank of Necron you are, depends on how much memory you're allowed to have.
Right.
So, like, the standard troops, mind wiped. They're completely fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, they do destroyer cults, they just go around killing things. However, like, a Lynch Guard will have some memory, but not much, and be able to do what they want. Overlords are like Necron captains. They sort of control everything. That they will remember stuff. And then you have like the big named characters like the Silent King, the Stormlord, Nemesor, Zahndrekh. Well, Nemesor Zahndrekh isn't exactly well, bless him.
Yeah. But I guess here's my first question is the Catan. Basically, from my understanding, they didn't exist, strictly speaking, in the same way that other races existed. They're kind of almost like they feed on energy, and there's some manner of history.
I know there's one. I know there's one Catan shard that's sort of split off. And I don't know if that's the Deceiver, but there's one Catan shard that the Necrons there's one Catan shard that has their own personal army called the Harlequins, and they're like weird clown Eldar, and they're a bitch to paint. I loathe them. I loathe how you have to paint them. They honestly, because they're described as moving so fast that their outfits look like they're patchwork, and usually with patchwork stuff, there's 2 ways of doing it. If you're lucky, you will make your own little, like, almost sketch thing and then start doing in the dots. Or you can try and do it freehand. And if you've got shaky hands, good luck. It's like playing darts when drunk. It's impossible, and you're pretty sure someone's going to get hurt in the process.
Right.
It's like, why? Yeah. Patchwork, fuck that. Oh, but it looks cool. I don't care. I can't do it. I'm just going to sit around and cry. I can barely paint white shoulder pads. White shoulder pads. Anyway, that's going to be a ramble for another day. That's just going to be like a really short 10-minute video of just me swearing at white paint for an hour. 10 minutes, but turns into an hour of me just swearing at white paint.
Right.
Ugh. I love white paint. Seriously. White paint's the worst.
I would know. I never tried to paint any models myself, so
Some models, this is a bit of a tangent, but some models are really nice to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Some models are just, you look at it and you think, I'm going to stab myself in the neck just to save myself the issue.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I'm not looking at any model in particular. Fucking Imperial Guardsman that I have. The Commissar that I have. That... or anything... Oh, no. No, right. No, we need to carry on. Otherwise, I'm going to start rambling about Finecast.
Yeah, no worries. So, the question I have is, the Catan had issues with the old ones previously, before the Necrons.
Yeah, they didn't get on. That's putting it lightly, but they didn't get on.
Okay.
Yeah, the old ones managed to fight the Catan.
Mm-hmm.
Long before the Necrons, they managed to fuck over the Catan.
Okay.
So with like the combined might of the Catan and the Necrons, they overpowered the old ones.
Okay.
Though combined might, I mean, I'm not being funny, but how much might can a race of aliens that are dying from radioactive cancer provide?
Yeah, I don't imagine that it's a lot. Yeah, so...
I don't... It's so weird. It's like, the combined might of us and these guys. Meanwhile, it pans over to like a really old man. Hello. It's like it'd be like if the Avengers all teamed up to take down Thanos, but they invited their chemo.
Yeah. Dang, it's like they're more likely to die of a coughing fit than from actual war, I imagine.
Yes. Don't mind him. He's Steve. Make a wish. Make a wish made us bring him with us. He's invaluable to our team.
Yes.
Totally. What is he suffering from? He's got gangrene, he's blind, he's deaf, he donates his blood every time that he has a piss, he's got veins popping out of everywhere, he's got a 40-a-day habit since he was 2. He's just the most unwell man possible.
Oh my gosh.
But times up by 100,000 million. I don't know how many Necrons there are. Nobody does. They're all asleep. Most of them are asleep.
They're hibernating presently.
Yeah. So most of them are hibernating.
That's right. What was I going to say about? So the Silent King is the one that managed to make contact with him, right?
Yeah, and he's responsible for the Necrons, and oh boy, the Necrons. Some Necrons follow him blindly. Others, like the Stormlord, hate his fucking guts. Because they remember what he did. And the Silent King hates himself.
I can't imagine that was a popular choice. And the choice that we're getting to here is, the Catan have this ability to feed off energy, as far as I can tell. And the energy that they can feed on happens to include, the agony that they can cause in the middle of war.
And souls.
And other stuff.
Souls.
Exactly. So here's basically what happens: is the Catan are like, oh, you're not getting along with the old ones, are you? Well, here's what we can do. We can fix you so that you're not in any pain, and we will do that by transferring your minds into these bodies of living metal. And everyone's like, we don't know about that. But then
Silent King's like, fucking soul.
Yeah, then Silent King's like, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, what are these giant furnaces? Hang on a minute, what do you mean? No. Where are you dragging all of us to? Hang on a minute, why is Dave all of a sudden a metal soulless machine? Oh.
Yeah, and it turns out that the process of turning what's it called, Necrons into these, what would I say, transferring their mind
into Necrons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It happens to be extremely painful.
I love it. Yeah, I love the naming of the Necron tier. They were just lazy. So like, right, we've got a race called the Necrons. Let's make a prequel. Call them the Necron tier. Hang on, how are we going to explain the orcs? Call them the Corks! Brilliant! Well done.
So...
Give that man 5 stars.
Give that man a pay raise. He deserves it. He earned it. Oh, man. Like, I imagine his boss coming up to him like, man, you know, here's a little extra for you on this paycheck. You earned it. And it's just like...
Oh dear, don't worry. And then there's one guy at the end going, oh, I've got demon names for you. Fuck off! We don't need demon names. No, what's this? It's got 5 Zs. How do you want to pronounce it? Just all the spit goes everywhere. It's like, oh no, it's like living in Wales.
You gotta like really enunciate it with your throat there. It's
that's the first bit of his name. The second bit is and the last bit is Lance.
It's like, okay, so how many H's are in that? It's like, oh, that's the worst.
We need a focus, otherwise we're still on the first bit. Oh dear. Right. We are not like Adeptus Ridiculous, a much better podcast that talks about everything Warhammer. We are just a drop in the piss ocean.
So
what's in this Coke?
Basically, once they get their metal bodies, they have no recollection of who they are. Basically, all their memories, all their emotions.
Some of them do, some of them don't, some of them go mad.
Right.
And after they get their metal bodies, the Silent King turns around to the Catan and go, ha ha! Guess what, bitch? You're in my world now, and just starts starts capturing the Catan.
Wait, hold on. Now that part I missed. I did not get anything on that. Please elaborate.
Oh, right. Basically, after the Silent King and every Necron tier turned into a Necron, the Silent King was so annoyed and angry that they basically went, right, lads, let's just get some revenge, and they sort of captured and enslaved the Catan themselves. Oh dear.
How?
Yeah, they captured and enslaved the Catan, and you can use them in the game. You can use the Catan in the game as enslaved star gods. Necrons have managed to capture the Catans and enslave them.
I was gonna ask how, because the Catan are basically, I don't want to say they're gods or anything like that, but kind of like demigodly types things.
I think it took like a fuck ton of. I don't know. I don't want. And nobody knows how many Catan they enslaved, because you have the name there. You have the main ones, like the Deceiver. They enslaved him. The Nightbringer, they enslaved him. The Void Dragon, which, fun fact, is on Mars. That's where the AdMech is.
Oh, neat.
The Void Dragon is on Mars, and some of the AdMech are kind of researching it. And there's like an entire thing of the Imperium just being really suspicious of the Admech. Like, are you doing anything traitorous? No. Just don't look behind this curtain. No, we're not researching the Necrons, we promise. Please. Oh dear. But the Void Dragon got captured, and there's just a unit called Catan Shard.
Okay.
Actually, I can look this up. Which is like a nondescript Catan god.
Okay.
Can actually quickly look this up, and they're all quite powerful in game. They are really powerful in game, and will fuck up any unit quickly. And I've killed a couple, and they've killed my lot repeatedly, and it's they're just really, really, really tough. Especially the Nightbringer. I think that's what it's called. If the site will load, I can tell you. Ooh. Aha. Right, so you have Catan Shards of the Deceiver, the Nightbringer, the Void Dragon, and then you just have Transcendent Catan, which is like a Catan Shard of nobody knows. But basically, they captured the main three. The Nightbringer is really tough because he basically ignores invulnerable saves, and if he touches one of your units, they don't gain any benefit, like to saves. It's terrifying, especially if you're playing as Death Guard. He will fuck up Mortarion quite badly. Anyway, so yeah, the Necrons basically captured the Catan Shards and went to sleep, or they went to sleep. Some of them woke up and captured the Catan Shards. I don't know which way it went, but I think they captured them first, then went into hibernation. And some of them went a bit crazy.
So some of the Catan
couldn't handle being in... no, not the Catan, the Necrons. Because being in sleep for like 40,000 years is really bad.
Yeah.
Apparently, it fucks with your head. Who knew?
Imagine that. So all of this basically leads to the war in heaven. Is basically where we're going with this.
The war in heaven was literally the old ones. That was the war in heaven, and they fought with the Eldar and stuff.
Oh, really? So hold on. This does not include the Necrons at all. I thought that that's kind of
no, it does. I think the war in heaven was actually just them fighting the old ones. Though I could be wrong. So hang on.
Yeah. Because basically, now with their metal bodies and no weaknesses to speak of anymore, it kind of looks like the Necrons.
Yeah, the war in heaven was literally what we were talking about. The Necrons and the Catan allies and the old ones.
Right.
Who made corks out of the old one made the corks, and so on. Basically, as a panic. Yeah. The old ones. The old ones got fucked over.
Yeah, for a second there, they
did Silent King.
Because I mean, it looked like they weren't gonna make it out. So,
fuck. Okay, sorry. Sorry. I just Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you want to know how long the war was for? Fuck me.
How long?
60 million years.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Golly.
I didn't realise. I thought it was like, well, humans were still like, learning this giant war in heaven, and like, fuck me, 60 million years before the 41st millennium.
Oh my god.
60 million years of fighting. Jesus, that's an orc's wet dream if I ever saw one.
Yeah,
and they were probably there because they were corks.
Oh my god.
60 million years. 60 million years.
That is a lot. Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was 60. I thought it was like a few hundred thousand, well, few thousand at least, but 60 million. That's not a one. Oh dear. That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Ah, dear. Now, we've gotten through the origins in probably the worst way possible. We just rambled about the Necron tier and the old ones and the Catan shards in a non-coherent way. 60 million years of fighting.
And that's
60 million years of fighting.
And that's at the very beginning is the thing too, that's not like happening during all of the stuff that we've covered thus far. This is before. I mean, because this is like, okay, when all the races, well, a lot of them, like the Eldar, the humans, etc., etc.
I mean, orcs have always been around.
Right.
Orcs and Eldar have always been around, but Necrons are now starting to wake up. Like, even more so recently. With the Silent King and everything, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so no wonder they wanted to sleep for so long.
Yeah,
After
they tired themselves out.
Years, I don't blame them. It's like, oh, sod this, I'm going for a nap, don't wake me up. No wonder they hate humans, or Tyranids, or anything, because it's like, oh, who's woken us up? Hang on, where's our empire? Ah, piss. What happened here? We don't know. Everything's... I went, what's this fleshy thing? It's a human. Get out my lawn. Get away from my lawn. They to carry germs.
Oh
Bloody
my god.
humans, they come over here, steal my planet. Now I wake up and all I have is a metal body.
Oh my gosh.
Back in my day, I used to have a radioactive sun that used to turn my skin to crisp. And now I wake up and I see... Oh, back in my day, I was 60 million years old and now I've woken up to see all you young whippersnappers in my lawn. Fuck this, I'm calling...
You think you have it hard? Back in my day, we fought a war for 60,000 years. I'm sorry, what was that? 60 billion years?
Yeah, 60 million years.
60 million years!
I just imagine like a space marine waking up a Necron and going, back in my day we didn't have power armor like that, sonny. We literally had nothing and some sticks that Margaret used to make for us. You with your fancy power armor, you fucking disgraceful. Oh, if I was still made of flesh and bone, I would have kidney stones thinking about that power armor. You wimp, come back here. Yeah, you're scared, aren't you, because I'm a metal skeleton?
Metal skeleton fighting
right. I'm now a metal skeleton with plasma weaponry. What have you got? Ooh, you're hard, aren't you, with your bayonet and chainsaws? Oh,
oh my god.
Margaret, where are you? Oh, she's a flayed one. Fuck. I thought she was bad when she was my ex-wife, and now she's flaying the skin of some toddler. No, Margaret, you can't wear that. Oh, fuck. Oh. Right, let's talk about the actual metal Necrons now, because that's what people want. They want to know what important Necrons there are, and if your favourite Necron isn't Nemesor, Zahndrekh, or Vargard Obyron, then there's something wrong with you.
Yep, so... that's actually the next part here. I was gonna say, tell me about the Silent King and the other guys.
Okay, so the Silent King has woken up from his slumber, and this has pissed off the Storm Lord, a guy that can quite literally create storms out of nowhere.
Well,
and
yeah.
the Silent King kind of wants to unite everything and, have the old empire back how it was, and the Silent King has met with Blood Angels and stuff, and he just wants, Necrons to be the best. And the Stormlord's basically gone, fuck you, you were asleep. I was taking care of things. Fuck you. Fuck the rest of your Necrons. I'm gonna do stuff my way. Suck a dick. And the Silent King's on his throne like, oh, why do I have him?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And, yeah. And the Silent King can be used in-game, and he's rather good. He's very good. He will literally fuck anybody up. He's really good.
Okay. Awesome.
The Silent King the Silent King model is actually not like other Necron character models. He's got his own throne. He's on a battle barge throne thing.
Oh, nice.
He just flies around the map, shooting things, being regal and shit, and hits stuff.
Well, that's cool.
He's he's very cool. And the Silent King, though, is like a giant unfeeling machine, he's conscious enough to know, there's a quote that he says about destroyer cults. And it's about him being, absolutely horrified that he has to use these destroyer cults. And he's like, oh, even though I'm a soulless, unfeeling machine, I too am sad when I have to use these guys. And the Silent King is basically just trying to get his old empire back. Bless him. The Stormlord's having none of that shit, because the Stormlord basically woke up and took control of the majority of the Necrons.
Okay.
And Imhotep the Stormlord. He's sort of responsible for a lot of the Necrons that are just metal and green. And he fucking loathes the Silent King for basically coming in and declaring everybody just follows him. Yeah, he's not a happy bunny. However, neither one can kill each other because of the huge amount of support each. Because it's not exactly good if Necrons just turn on each other. It's not great. You sort of need to.
Well, because
yeah.
You kind of need to band together, especially if you're in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
You kinda...
Also, Imhotep has got the most tomb worlds out of the Silent King. Well, the Silent King only has 20 or something. I don't know. I need to look it up quickly. Imhotep, the Stormlord, has 80 tomb worlds. 80. Has got 80 worlds of Necrons following him.
That is a lot.
He just wants, and he wants to, the Necrons kind of dick each other over and sort of, backstab each other a lot. And the Silent King and the Stormlord don't get on at all. Keep saying.
So they're basically just working together how would I say this? An alliance based on, necessity, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have so many dynasties and everything. Certain dynasties have... Thing is, with the Stormlord and the Silent King, they're sort of well known, but my favourite Necrons are Nemesor Zahndrekh and Vargard Obyron. And I can't just gloss over the Silent King or Imhotep the Stormlord because they're really important characters, but I don't really like either of them.
So tell me about the other guys.
Yeah, okay, right, this is going to be an hour segment of me just saying Nemesor Zahndrekh is the bestest boy and should be running all the Necrons. He's basically,
Alright.
Nemesor Zahndrekh is basically batshit mad. He woke up from the sleep, and he still thinks he's flesh and bone. Like, Nemesor Zahndrekh woke up from the 16 million year sleep, and he still thinks he's flesh and bone. Other Necrons are fucking terrified for this, because this is like a gateway into becoming a flayed one, where you wake up, realise that you're metal, not flesh and bone, and you start going insane and start flaying skin off people and trying to be human, or trying to, you know.
Oh my gosh! So they're having like a bit of a what's it called, Buffalo Bill thing, that they're flaying people and just like wearing their skin or something like that.
Yes, that's what flayed ones do. And
man. That is brutal.
And Nemesor Zahndrekh, yes, Nemesor Zahndrekh doesn't wear skin. Nemesor Zahndrekh, in fact, believes that he's still fighting the 60 million year war.
Oh crap!
Yes, and he's just amazing, and I want an Nemesor Zahndrekh model, and I want a Vargard Obyron model in plastic, not fucking fine cast. Give me plastic Nemesor Zahndrekh, because they're just really good characters, and it shows like the comedy side of the Necrons as well as like the weird human side of the Necrons much better than the Silent King or Idiotic Zahndrekh ever does. Not Idiotic Zahndrekh, Idiotic the Stormlord, because there's also another Necron that I'm a fan of. But anyway, so Nemesor Zahndrekh is like a Necron general. Necrons. And, you know, he's gone a bit mad, and the Necrons kind of want to kill him and replace him. Good luck with that, because his bodyguard follows him to the letter. And it's like a buddy cop film, where you have one mad guy and one straight guy. You know, like buddy cop films. Just imagine that, but instead of it being a buddy cop film, it's two Necrons in charge of an entire army.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the guy has his own fleet, and he's got like a planet full of Lynch Guard, which are Necron bodyguards. He has food tasters, food testers, to make sure nobody's poisoned his food.
Even though he's a metal skeleton.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. He tries to eat food and believes somebody's poisoned it, so he has food testers, even though they're also Necrons.
Oh my god.
He took over like an entire planet by himself with like a fuck ton of Lynch Guard and battle barges and stuff. He refuses the use. He hates destroyer cults. Because he sees them as dishonorable. It's not the proper way to fight if you're a Necron.
Right.
That's not how you fight if you're a Necron. You don't destroy cults and death marks. No, you fight them in melee combat. You fight them in melee combat, and you use Necron warriors. You don't hide behind snipers.
Right.
Oh dear. And his bodyguard, hang on, let me find him. And his bodyguard, where is he? Vargard Obyron is just like his carer half the time. He's like, oh, fine, let's look after him. This is my life now. I woke up, and I have to look after this mad git. Fine.
Okay.
It's like there's actually a quote Nemesor Zahndrekh said, and it's quite well known because Bricky, the guy who runs Adeptus Ridiculous, also read out this quote that I'm also going to read, but it's just the best quote. It's just the best quote. and it's like, how I am right. It's loading. There we go. So this is what he said to his bodyguard, Vargard Obyron. See, Obyron, the Separatists come, attempting to outflank me just as they did the 4th Battle of Vindaf. How they calculate that daubing themselves green and roaring like savages will produce a different outcome, I cannot fathom. But it is of no account. Ready, my legions, another glorious victory shall be ours.
Oh my god.
He still thinks he's fighting like really old battles that the Necrons used to have. That's how.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he loathes the use of death marks because he sees it as dishonorable, and Vargard Obyron acts as his bodyguard and will kill other Necrons at will. Well, not even at will, just to protect Nemesor Zahndrekh. Because if you're planning to kill Zahndrekh, the Obyron will hear about it and stab you in the face. You don't mess with Zahndrekh.
I love it. That is awesome.
Zahndrekh will even bring back prisoners from fights. Like, Necrons, their entire thing is kill everything. Entire thing is kill everything, make sure there's no survivors. Zahndrekh is like, he's fought honorably. Let's bring them back with us as prisoners of war. And the other Necrons are like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? What are you doing, you deluded fool? Why are you doing this?
That's
and he
excellent.
will feed them. He will feed the prisoners.
Okay.
He will feed the prisoners. And there's one story where Vargard Vargard, what he often does is he kills the prisoners when Zahndrekh isn't looking and says, oh yeah, they're trying to escape.
Okay.
Because Nemesor really isn't well. But one day Nemesor saw what Vargard was planning, what Obyron was planning, and stopped Obyron and said, no, let this White Scar Space Marine go, as well as a few others. Let them go so we may fight them again. And Obyron just looked at him and went, the fuck, dude? He's a space marine. He's literally attempted to kill you several times. And you want me to let him go, and Zahndrekh is like, yeah, let him go, he's fine. I want to fight him again, honourably, on the battlefield.
Oh my god.
No, it wasn't the Space Marine, I think I can't... Hang on. Okay. Was it a Space Marine, or was it the Primarch? Because if it was the Primarch, then it's much more impressive. But if it's like a Space Marine captain, it's still pretty impressive. Hang on, let me... hang on. Oh yeah, wow. Zahndrekh captured the White Scars Space Marine Chapter Master. That's who he captured. Like a proper Chapter Master of the White Scars. And just let him go because he didn't want to kill him he wanted to fight him in honourable combat. And he gave him
that is crazy.
Spaceship. And I know he's the bestest boy. He's the bestest boy.
Yeah.
And even
he's basically just giving him a... What's that?
No, say what you're going to say first.
No, I was going to say he's basically just letting him go, giving him a horse. It's like, hey, we'll meet again, and when we do, our battle will be legendary.
Pretty much. But on the tabletop, he has, you can use Nemesor Zahndrekh and Vargard Obyron.
Okay.
And Nemesor Zahndrekh has a really awesome ability called Transcendent Madness.
That sounds cool.
You pick one unit, one Dynasty Sortek core unit, and you roll 3d6 dice, and if the total is less than this model's leadership, then you select one of the results below. And basically, I will read you what the abilities are called.
Okay.
Avenge the Fallen.
Nice.
Until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of models in that unit. The second one, Quell the Rebellion. Quell
Very
the Rebellion.
nice.
Until the... Fuck's sake, Google. Hang on. Google's being a bit of an ass. Quell the Rebellion. Until the start of your next command phase, improve the ballistic skill of models in that unit by 1. And this is my favourite one. Solar Mills! Charge! Until the start of your next command phase, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. He's so cool. Oh dear. And
that is
Vargard,
awesome.
and Vargard Obyron basically can teleport to Zahndrekh whenever. So like if Nemesor Zahndrekh's about to get fucked up in melee, you can just teleport Vargard Obyron 3 inches away from him. and
Oh, nice.
It's like, yeah, by the way, you ain't gonna fight him, you're gonna fight Vargard Obyron.
That's awesome. I see where you're coming from with the whole buddy cop thing. That it really does give that impression.
Yeah. Nemesor Zahndrekh also attempts to sleep. Actually go to sleep like normal humans. But he can't do this because, as a Necron, he's always wired awake. So he just lays in bed, staring up at the ceiling.
Oh, no.
He can't sleep. He can't sleep. Oh, dear. And there is one line of there is like a bit where he sort of confesses to Obyron that you know he knows what's going on. He's not mental, but he says that it's better to act the fool and delude himself rather than let all the Necrons know that he's actually well, because he just wants to live in this little fantasy that he's made for himself. Which I like. I respect that,
Yeah.
I respect that when fighting orcs, Eldar, Space Marines, Tyranids, miscellaneous horrors from the warp. Instead of, going insane, you go a bit insane and pretend you're fighting a really old fight.
You go a bit insane, but remain completely functional.
Fleshy being. Yes. Unlike the flayed ones, who... Oh god, the flayed ones are just horrifying. Even as a concept, the flayed ones are... Because they scream and talk. Like, they scream and beg to be killed.
Oh no.
They actually beg to be killed while flaying off your skin. They want to die. And they sort of teleport, and they can't control how they teleport. And they're just fucking sad. And other Necrons will actively hunt and put them down, put them out of their misery. Because it's just horrifying. It lowers everyone's morale. Even like a sturdy Necron overlord, if he sees a Necron flayed one, he will attempt to order his Necrons to put them down. Because it's horrifying.
Yeah, that's a kindness, I think, at that point.
It's a kindness, and then you get the destroyer cults. Yeah. No one likes the destroyer cults. And the destroyer cults are a certain bunch of Necrons that have gone, you know what? Instead of leaving buildings, people, or anything intact, let's just level all of it. You see that?
Yikes!
You see that building? Crumple it. You see that? You see that thing over there? I don't want to see it anymore. You want to see this planet? No, I don't want to see anything. I want it gone. And they don't say anything. They don't talk. They don't express any emotion. They are literally created to kill things.
Basically, just destroy everything in sight.
Yeah, and the Silent King doesn't like them. Nemesor Zahndrekh despises them.
Okay.
But, unlike Nemesor Zahndrekh, who refuses to use them, the Silent King will use them as a necessity. But he really fucking hates it.
So basically, almost like a last resort, sort of.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There is more characters, Necron characters. I mean, Idiotic Stormlord, basically, we've briefly covered him. He's basically like a big dick Necron that doesn't like Silent King. The Silent King's responsible for the entire fucking mess that the Necrons are in, and kind of wants to regain control, but Idiotic's having none of it, but they can't really kill each other because... good luck. Nemesor Zahndrekh and the bodyguard, Obyron, are the best Necrons, and I will probably build an army just as lore-friendly as possible with nothing but Lynch Guard and Necron warriors in. They just make me incredibly happy. I'm glad that the Necrons got like 2 characters that are just really, really, really sort of like human, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
I mean, the Silent King's human. He recognizes his flaws and stuff. Idiotic the Stormlord's sort of like, oh, I want to conquer everything. Fuck the Silent King, and I just hate everything. But Nemesor Zahndrekh and Obyron are sort of the only 2 Necrons where it's like, okay, I really want to learn more about them, or want a collection, and they're the ones that got me into, like, those 2 characters got me into Necrons. And the flayed ones, because the flayed ones are fucking horrifying. They're just, I mean, imagine being a guardsman, and the next thing you hear is screaming and crying, and you look over and it's like this big Necron wearing your mate's face.
Oof. That would be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another character. There's another character who I want to talk about called. Where is he? Treys on the Infinite. Treys on the Infinite literally steals your shit.
Oh, neat.
He's got an entire world. I think it's either a world or an entire few worlds just dedicated to nicking shit.
That's cool. How does that work?
He just goes in, finds relics, finds people, finds Space Marines, and will teleport anything back to his place and put them in stasis so he can look at it. Because Treys on the Infinite just wants to collect things.
I like it.
He's a collect. Yeah, he doesn't care about politics or anything. He literally just wants to collect things.
Yeah, I just want some cool shit.
Yeah, and he's actually set up proper dioramas of like famous fights that the Imperium has had. Like, he's kidnapped Costello Creed and set him up in his vault in stasis. So you can look at that and go, oh yeah, that's the Fall of Cadia. Yeah, he's nicked people. Yeah, he's just has this giant fuck off vault full of stuff. He's like, hippity hoppity, this is now my property. Womp.
That's great.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah,
he's another character that's just cheeky. Like a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, like you would imagine that, you know, with all the crap that they got going on, because it's kind of a dark story, you know, like, hey, they just wanted to not die, and now they're made of metal with, like, some of them are crazy, some of them are you know, in immense pain, but then you have these characters that are just like, oh, well, that's just gonna lighten up. Yeah, really, like, I'm just gonna steal shit and put it in my collection.
Yeah, I love him.
I love it. That is great.
Necrons are great, and then you have like Necron names always has like a KR or KYR. There's like an unwritten rule about Necron names.
Like, how do you mean?
Yeah, there's another guy called Anarika the Traveller, and he just sort of travels around the place.
Oh.
Yeah, he just likes travelling around everywhere. He's sort of like the best way to describe him as like... The best way to describe him is literally just like a travelling salesman, but instead of selling stuff, he will just work with Necrons. Yeah? It's like, yes, he's in charge of a big Necron dynasty as well, but he's just, yeah, he just wants to travel to places. He's innocent. He just wants to travel to places. It's like, yeah, I'll send my Necrons over here.
Okay.
You know, capture a few places. Nothing much. You know, we're all good. Don't worry about me. I'm just traveling through space and time. I think he can also time travel slightly. I'm not entirely sure, but there's so many. I just if anybody's listened to this point, first off, well done. Second off, Necrons. Some Necrons I'm really passionate about. Others I just can't get into, like the Traveller, the Silent King, and Irritate the Stormlord. I mean, I like them, but they're not my favourite. So I think what we're going to do is probably one day dedicate an entire episode called The Bits Idiotic Synergy Missed. And it's going to be a 10-hour video of just me going through every other thing.
Yeah, or like, you know, like the things that we don't talk about because they just trigger me, you know?
Oh, no. Anyway, any more things about the Necrons?
I think the last thing that we had was how do they play, like on tabletop?
They're great. They've got a big fuck off update, and they've got a bunch of models, and they're great, and they're fun. They're actually fun to play. They're fun to paint. They're really fucking easy to paint. All you need is spray paint. Spray paint and green if you want to do basic Necrons. But you can use anything for plasma. And
dope.
Yes,
I like it.
And there's dynasties. Forgot what dynasty does what. But I know there's one dynasty that harnesses the power of the sun. Like the actual sun itself. It's pretty batshit insane.
Okay.
I think that's Nemesor Zahndrekh's. I think that is Nemesor Zahndrekh's one. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Nemesor Zahndrekh.
No, I can see.
He's just the best Necron boy. Him and his bodyguard, Vargard. Like, Vargard Obyron. The only thing you need to know about Necrons is that in this weird metal army, there's two Necrons that are like buddy cops. And they go around the galaxy as like over the top, you know, like Victorian British people. It's like, aha! Have at thee, you bastard! I shall smite you with my staff!
Oh, man. I challenge thee, knave!
He probably has said that several times.
Lord.
There's stuff called the Canopect. There's weird... Necrons aren't actually connected to the warp. Here's a weird one. The Necrons aren't connected to the warp. They use the webway. Like the
I do remember seeing about the webway. It's actually something that I meant to ask, but I totally forgot about. Like, it's basically... It's...
Boo! Sorry.
No, go for it.
Boo this man.
Oh.
I'm gonna cancel you now on Twitter. I'm gonna cancel you now.
Oh well, it happens to everyone at least once, I think.
Oh dear. What happened to Serafin, the Midnight Bard? Is he a racist? Nah, he's forgot about the webway. Oh my god! There's going to be a huge uprising in the Warhammer community. All 4 people reading this are going to start a hashtag. Serafin is cancelled. He forgot the webway. Oh,
and you know the thing about it is I thought it was gonna be something like the warp. In my mind, I was like, I see that it's the webway. It's something different. So I was like, maybe it's like it. You know?
There is, however, the warp has affected a certain webway. That's the Eldar's webway. Slaanesh is like really, really in the Dark Elder's webway.
Okay.
Like he's like a pinky finger away from like just destroying most of the Dark Eldar in their webway. He's like, ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
If you do anything to piss me off, your soul is mine. Oh dear, the Dark Eldar are fun. Just if you like BDSM elves.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? But
Lewd, I shall bonk you. Oh dear. You say that, but then you look at what the Dark Eldar do. It's like, they've turned someone into a chair. They've fucked around with their organs. They've stuffed a baby into someone else's mouth and contorted them. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess they get a little extreme there.
They got really extreme. Anyway,
yeah.
One unit I would like to talk about,
because
this is a ramble thing, not a lore thing. If you're looking for like in-depth lore about the Necrons, I'm sorry, this is just a ramble. But I would like to talk about the complete waste of space called the Monolith. The Monolith
a complete waste of space.
Worst
Let's hear it.
I have ever. Oh, fuck the Monolith. I fucking loathe the Monolith when it was. Oh. The Monolith is like a big, chunky brick. It is literally a pyramid brick that you get, and it's a bitch to glue. And it used to just. It's fat. It looks horrible. You can't do anything with it that much. Its weapons, you can easily get out of the range of all of its weapons. It's a fucking ugly model. And I hate it.
Huh.
And it looks like it can't... It's like Daleks from Doctor Who. Like when you see them fly and shit, it's like, how? How does that thing fly? It's literally a fat brick that just sits there. And its base, you're going to love this. Its base, you have the option. You have the option of putting it on a fucking tiny, weird, see-through base where it never balances, and it's ugly. I hate the Monolith. Oh, but idiotic synergy. It's got the death ray. It's got 1 shot, strength 9, AP -3, and D3 +3 damage. Idiotic synergy. It's a really, really good model. It's 360 points.
I just looked it up, and yeah, that is
ugly.
Compared to all the other models that I've seen. This is it almost feels a little lazy, you know?
Fucking ugly.
Yeah, it's not pretty to look at. It's pretty ugly. Yeah.
360 points.
Oh,
and then you look at the Silent King model, where it's like, 450 points, but what do you get? You get the Annihilator Beam, the Scepter of Eternal Glory, the Staff of Stars? Scepter of Eternal Glory in melee, Scythe of Dust, and Staff of Stars in melee again. And the Silent King's much better because you look at the rules and like denying psychic powers, engagement ranges. There's a lot of shit to like about the Silent King,
The Silent King looks cool as hell too. The model looks pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah. There's one thing here. He has Relentless March, Pharaon of Blades, Pharaon of Stars. My will be done. That's every Necron Overlord. Wow. Okay, I didn't notice this. Vengeance of the Enchanted. When the Silent... fucking Google. Oh dear. Google's being an absolute arse. When the Silent King is destroyed, roll 1d6 before removing it from play. On a 4+, it explodes, and each unit within 2d6 suffers d6 mortal wounds.
Ooh,
you can basically kamikaze him, and I love units where you can kamikaze. I'm a fan. Oh yeah. I totally never kamikazed a giant land raider for my Grey Knights into a bunch of enemies and deliberately exploded it. Nope. Oh dear. But yeah. Necrons to me, I like them. Their stories are pretty good. The War in Heaven is really good. I just can't get... Some characters I just can't get into. And I know that's going to annoy some people. Like, why don't you like Silent King? Why don't you like Imitate the Stormlord? They're fine, but they're not silly. And I... Like, the thing is about Warhammer is that... though it's like, the edgiest thing in the fucking universe... It needs to... It needs to be over the top, and it needs to sort of... I don't know. I like it when it's silly. I like it when it's over the top and silly, not when characters are just flat and kind of dull. Like, the Silent King, he's met Dante of the Blood Angels, and he's woken up. And Imitate the Stormlord has taken over 80 Tomb Worlds. Meanwhile, you have characters like Nemesor Zahndrekh and Vargard Obyron sort of doing a buddy cop thing, where Zahndrekh is just being silly and like Oberon's just acting as a babysitter. You have Necrons like Treys on the Infinite that are like nicking shit and putting them in his own vault to just look at. You have the Flayed ones, which are just batshit insane Necrons that think they're still fleshy. You have, like...
Yeah, like I mean, Necrons... there needs to be a certain level of silliness to kind of offset the grim dark. I gotcha.
Yeah, I know for some people, like, it needs to be... Warhammer needs to be, like, the edgiest thing. It needs to just be miserable and grey and miserable, and, like, you need to have, like, womb factories, you need to have, like, just death and horrible everything. I got into Warhammer because I looked at, like, the 80s style of artwork Warhammer that Games Workshop used to have, the White Dwarf 80s style, where it was, like, bright neon colours, like, bright colours, everything's over the top, noise marines and stuff like that. Not the whole miserable, Imitate the Stormlord doesn't like the Silent King. Meanwhile, in, like, a galaxy further away, Nemesor Zahndrekh is trying to get some sleep, but can't. Like, that to me is funny, and that to me, like, all I want from Games Workshop is just a story where it just focuses on Nemesor Zahndrekh's day-to-day. That's all I want. He wakes up, eats breakfast, realises he can't. Vargard Obyron starts walking with him, and just listens to him as he rambles about wars of old. He goes and has a Necron meeting with all the other Necron lords. Vargard Obyron looks after him by stabbing Necron lords in the face. They go on, fight some orcs, go home. He has lunch. Just really like something silly.
Right.
Something
I get it.
Silly. Something,
Yeah.
Though I will say, after that little ramble, Necron books are really good. Like, even like the Necron children book series they put out. I think it's called Warhammer
There's
Adventures.
a children book series.
Yeah. Yes. Warhammer, children's book series called Warhammer Adventures. Now, when that came out, everybody just went, they shouldn't make Warhammer kids friendly, blah. And then you read the book, and it's the darkest thing, but it's written in such a way where kids can enjoy it. Basically, Necrons overpower Ultramarines. They destroy a world. A kid dies, leaving these 4 kids just to try and survive and find help. It's like, you read the first book and you're like, okay, this is cool. I know I can get behind this, but it's like written in such a way where you're like, oh, okay, I can see why kids enjoy it. And I think Necrons are perfect to be wacky and serious, because there's something for everyone. There's something. For everyone.
Kind of like with the orcs, like a lot of what makes them like. Yes. They're terrifying. I mean, just the fact that they're, like, hey, even if you're killing them, you're just making more. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But they have so much personality that it's like, you really do. I can understand why, because the stories are edgy, they're kind of dark, but when you add a little humor in there, it just makes it all the better.
All the difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Warhammer's great for mental health as well.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah, it's just great. Like, building giant silly models is fun.
Right.
It's just fun. And Necrons, like, though I ramble a lot about Warhammer and probably annoy people on Twitter about Warhammer, and Discord and other places, it's. I just really like this hobby. I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's silly and daft, and I think other people should enjoy it. That's why I've dragged Serafin in.
I'm enjoying it, so hey, you know what? It's
Good.
working.
Yay.